Join me as I dive into the heated Oval Office confrontation between Trump, Zelensky, and JD Vance to see if I can unpack what really went down. In a shocking turn of events, the Oval Office recently played host to a tense meeting between three of the world's most influential figures: Donald Trump, Volodymyr Zelensky, and JD Vance. The exact details of the meeting remain unclear, but one thing is certain: sparks flew. Tensions between the United States and Ukraine have been simmering for years, with diplomatic relations strained due to a myriad of factors. The ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine has led to a deepening sense of unease, with both sides locked in a bitter standoff. Add to that the complexities of international politics, and it's clear that this meeting was always going to be a high-wire act. The stakes involved were enormous, with billions of dollars in foreign aid and multinational trade deals hanging precariously in the balance. The world was watching with bated breath as Trump, Zelensky, and Vance sat down to thrash out their differences. It was a meeting that could make or break the fragile peace in Eastern Europe, and one that promised to have far-reaching consequences for global politics. At the heart of the tensions lies a deep-seated mistrust between the two nations. Ukraine has long felt that the United States has failed to provide adequate support in its struggle against Russian aggression, while the United States has accused Ukraine of failing to tackle corruption and implement meaningful reforms. It was against this backdrop of mutual distrust that the three leaders gathered in the Oval Office. Trump and Zelensky have a complicated history, to say the least. Their relationship has been marked by controversy and mistrust, with Trump's infamous phone call to Zelensky in 2019 still casting a long shadow. The two leaders have fundamentally different visions for the future of Ukraine, and their disagreements have often spilled over into the public domain. Despite the tensions, Zelensky has consistently sought to remain at war with Russia, and disrespecting the importance of American support for Ukraine's survival. Trump, on the other hand, has been diplomatic and has continued to stop the war at all costs. He has never been a war manager, and during his last term, he was the only president that had no wars going on whilst he was in power. He is a reasonable negotiator, and was trying to have Zelensky understand that without USA stepping in, the war will never stop. In the months leading up to the Oval Office meeting, JD Vance had emerged as a key player in the diplomatic efforts. As a respected voice on foreign policy, Vance has consistently advocated for a more muscular American stance on the global stage. His presence at the meeting was seen as a sign that Trump was willing to listen to alternative perspectives, but it was unclear how much influence he would ultimately wield. The moment of truth finally arrived when Trump erupted with frustration at Zelensky's ongoing need to not accept that Russia was winning the war. He didn't care that so many of his soldiers kept dying needlessly. His face was red with frustration as Zelensky continued, unwilling to accept his defeat and wrongful position. Vance was visibly taken aback, their reactions ranging from shock to horror as Trump's tirade continued. It was a moment that will be etched in the memories of those present for a long time to come. As the confrontation raged on, Vance attempted to intervene, his calm and measured tones a stark contrast to Zelensky continuing not to apologize and just be thankful. Zelensky, meanwhile, seemed frozen in dismay. Not even understanding his wrongdoing of continuing to just argue with the administration, his eyes darted back and forth between Trump and Vance as if searching for an escape route. It was clear that the meeting had gone off the rails, and that the consequences of this bust-up would be felt for a long time to come. The immediate fallout from the confrontation remains unclear, but one thing is certain: this meeting will have far-reaching implications for U.S. foreign policy and political dynamics. The world is holding its breath as it waits to see how this will all play out. If Zelensky does not come to understand the seriousness of this situation, the world may go into World War III, and that would not be good for any nation. So what do you think? Did Zelensky's actions seal the deal for Ukraine? Or will it ultimately prove to be a costly mistake? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more in-depth analysis on the latest political developments.